Welcome to Vine. Welcome to Golden Mission 144. I sat and I said, this is a good energetic time for what you want to know, What you want to know. Let's kick this off with a Lenormand card to see exactly what we're going to be talking about. You guys are looking around and you see the energy in your world right now. You know that things are not the same by far in any way that it usually is. Things are really, really different. We started out where things became different with you. Now you are recognizing that things are different with everybody else as well. That the behavior patterns of the people around you, well, let's just say there are moments that you are experiencing that really just seem out of this world. The ability to clearly see the soul, the human being, is putting you in a different placing, okay? And that placing is really who is around me, really who is for me. And that's why it's interesting that we're kicking this off with the clover. And this is clover. You see that number 2. And then we also have up at the top, I love that because I'm getting really say the diamond though. 6 of diamonds. So this is where we're kicking this off with the Lenormand. This is that many opportunities. This is that if you are looking at being with someone or dating, you're starting to see you're starting to see a pattern. And what that pattern that you're starting to see is a lack of hook on the soul, a lot of playing the field. But this right here is about that chance taker, that unexpected, that fortunate. This, when you actually bring this out, and even when it comes to money, it's those risky deals. It's those taking those chances. This is a good time for conception. The clover has so much to it. We've always known the clover in its lucky space. But when we really say playing the field in the way of relation, look at it from the clover. It's really not taking it so serious. Allowing it to be a beautiful space is what I'm getting. That your love and your relational life has not had the chance to really just be. And I'm getting that many of you are starting to remember those relationships that you had. I've already shuffled this deck. But when I grabbed cards, I played spades as a kid. My family was really big on spades. We had a little kids table and a big people's table. And when you got to the place where you can go to the big people's table and you could sit there and play spades with my aunts and uncles, you had arrived. That was like an accomplishment. You see that card fly out? Love it, love it. But going back to what we were saying, that it's really about being light and really enjoying your times with people. Getting off of this space. See, this came out in reverse. That light is really bright for us today. We are enjoying it. I'm going to find the point to show you the cards. Okay, I think we have it there. But I'll tell you even still, this is the 9 of Wands. And this is the 9 of Wands that came out, but it didn't come out in the way that we would necessarily want it to come out, but exactly in the way that we would want it to come out. And what I mean by that is that it came out in reverse. So it's no longer being in that position where you're just so on guard, and you guys are moving into a place of being light, being really light. You know what? It's actually not putting it in your face, just having it down like this. Perfect. We'll go that route. It's about really being light at this point, and really knowing that I really need to start enjoying my experiences. Enjoying my experience is more important than anything else. And that's what I'm getting, that you guys are starting to recognize, that you weren't getting the enjoyment out of things. So the 9 of Wands is all about being defensive, but it's also about having stamina and perseverance in being defensive. It's like, I'm ready for whatever comes to me, and I can handle whatever comes to me all the way till I'm getting to the death of it, to the end of it. But it's like, you don't even have to be that way. You don't have to live that way anymore. This came up in reverse. It's like, whenever you're dealing with people, you're getting back to that lighthearted. I'm getting those scriptural references of really like, it's being like a child is who enters the gates of heaven, which is really living the good life. Having that child spirit, being lighthearted. In this position, it's completely opposite of that. This is a very defensive, guarded being. The reason this being is very defensive and guarded is because of the experiences that you've had. But what I'm getting here is that it's about letting that go. And look, I didn't even realize I had actually put the deck down, but I put it down, lift it up, and I'm getting like, pick up this card, pick it up. And what we have right here is, it's that 5 of Cups. And you see the 5 of Cups that has spilt out, and it's really like, let it go, you know? That season is done. And you can actually get to the place where you can be off duty. You can fire yourself, and you can actually begin to start enjoying life again. You were too busy making sure life was going well and that everything was all together, because you came from a place where there had to be a lot of presentation, so it had to look right. You know, it didn't matter if it wasn't right, it had to look right. So coming from that place of a lot of presentation, it put you in a space where your life just became not fun. You always had something to do, somewhere to be. I'm going to go ahead and leave that over like that because it goes along with it. All right, and here I go. The Magician is coming out, and the Magician is coming out with the Queen of Swords, but the Queen of Swords is in reverse. And this is very important because we know what the Magician is all about. So you guys are transmuting something. You are transforming and transmuting something. But when we actually look and see, well, what is it that you are transmuting? We get the Queen of Swords. This was exactly what everything was about in the Divine Feminine reading that came out on yesterday. That Divine Feminine reading is so good in talking about this. This is in reverse. You are transmuting that. And that really means transforming it into something new for yourself. The Queen of Swords was your protector in the way of being out of balance. The Queen of Swords is very important in being a divine being, because you have to be in a place where you can set things straight. And you have to be able to speak your truth. That is a part of the call of being a divine being. But bigger than that is to not let it get out of balance. Because if you let it get out of balance, that's when the trouble comes in. And the trouble that comes in that we have with the Queen of Swords is that this can be a very cutthroat queen when she's out of balance. This queen can really speak and do things that is really not of the soul of that being, but it's because they were in defense. And it's like I have to make sure I'm protected because of those experiences that you had in the past. And I'm getting that you are transmuting that this is really what you're firing. So we knew we were getting you off duty here, but now we know the specifics of what's coming off duty. It's like, look, you got an edge to you that's a little bit too sharp when you coming at people. It's simply because you see the truth of people, and you're supposed to be able to see the truth of people. That's not going to go away. That is a part of your divine nature ability. But when you see the truth of how a person is, it isn't for you to go in there and slay that. We don't go in and slay people's demons. We don't slay their darkness. We don't go in and start telling them what they need to do about themselves to get right. That is a reading. That is something someone asks for. That is something someone purchases. That is something that someone gives consent for. It's just like a house. We don't go breaking in people's houses. We don't go breaking into people's souls. We allow those people to elect that. And it's very important because in your view, it looks like love. In their view, it looks like the Queen of Swords just came and started slaying my whole life and told me that I wasn't enough in any area. And that these are the things that I need to do to be an acceptable human being for them to accept me and maybe for the rest of the world to accept me. And then you leave someone cut open in that state, very vulnerable, very raw, not understanding why you see all those things in them. And then they have a whole list of things they have to do that is written out in detail before they can get their life right. It is mean. It is mean. And I can say that to you guys because that is one of my divine powers that I've had to balance because I was mean, thinking that I was giving love. So then I had to figure out, well, where does it go? It goes to places like this. It goes to places like my practice. It goes to places when I do readings with you guys. But it doesn't go to the places with my loved ones because we don't put people in this Nine of Swords state. Because ultimately we end up putting ourselves there. And the reason why you'll put yourself there is because you won't understand the distance that's needed between you and them. But really, people are collecting themselves. They are collecting themselves because they just got some verbal whoop ass. And it's so smart. Yes, it is. You are smart. It's so wise. Yes, it is. You are wise. It's so loving. Yes, it is. You care about that person and you want them to do and be well. But it hurts. It is a sword going to an individual. And don't get me wrong, there are times that you are to speak your truth, and that is what the Queen of Swords is about. I can go and cut down through the meat, I can go to the bone, I can go to the inner yoke, I can go to the spirit of me, go within and be aligned enough that I know my truth to speak it. There's our music. It is for us to speak our truth. When the Queen of Swords is imbalanced, it means that you are using your superpower in a way that is harmful to others and yourself. which means the sword is going out, the sword isn't coming within. And that's the defense place that you're retiring. The only reason why anyone would ever get in a placement like that when it comes to their sword as being the Queen of Swords that we're representing here, which is really speaking the truth, really cutting through truth, really, setting things straight in that way. The only reason that will happen for it to get imbalanced in this state is that this person has experienced an attack. And when someone experiences an attack, it causes them to react differently to human beings. Attack is any form of abuse, mental, emotional, spiritual. Scarcity is considered a really big attack. Living without, abandonment. There are several different things that come into this space here. Physical attacks in all types of ways, but even more so spirit attacks. Okay, we want to put it all into spirit attacks because that's really what it's here, and it's attacking who you are as a being. So you've been attacked as to who you are. Anytime that anyone has any of those experiences, it is coming from a place of who they are. And then you are attacked for who you are. So at that point in time, there's a dirty programming that comes in. And then it's really easy to start attacking people for who they are. And I know it's like, well, I want to help them to not be in despair, but then I don't want to keep being in despair when it comes to my relationships. Either they are away from me in the distance because they're gathering themselves, or either they're coming back for some more of what I'm delivering. So you'll start feeding them. And you'll start feeding the spirit of someone. And if you become responsible of feeding the spirit of someone, it puts you in a position out of alignment. We are people who align with the universal systems. We aren't people who houseplay the universal systems. We don't wear that as a costume. I know we're getting close to that time, but you don't want to be that to an individual. You want to align with the universal systems, okay? With your divine nature. But to outsource your divine nature and be the only person that's aligning with all of the people that you are trying to align with is going to end up like this too. So you're not pulling people out of this space. You're pulling yourself into this space. And that's the piece that it looks like you guys are transforming. That is no longer happening. That's pretty cool. Man, I hope I'm answering the question. This just came random to do this. Like, an explosion. Okay. I don't need those. But are we going to do the Hierophant? I'm getting put it all back in. Put it all back in and then go. And see what happens. So look. Let's see what we get. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying this and hope that you are getting something from it. This is a new thought of mine to do. Wow. So we get the Fool card, but we get the Fool card in a different spacing, okay? We get the Fool card in reverse. So, give me more. It's already here. It's on the bottom. We have the Fool card when it comes to the Six of Pentacles. That's what this is about. Okay. The Six of Pentacles is all about having and not having. Having and not having. The entire Six of Pentacles card. It's like having and not having. Hope you can see it. We're getting used to this new area. I decided I needed some space just for a little bit to do some readings. And then I said, well, it's too open. So I brought the plants in closer. And then I said, okay, I think I like having them surrounding me. I love that energy. So when it comes to the Six of Pentacles that's coming out, you see it. It's you have not. So that is all of what this is about. And when we say have and have not, that's that knowledge, those resources, that's that power. So you're no longer playing the game of that. See, when it comes to the Fool, that's that spontaneous, having faith about it. But you're like, no, I'm not having faith about this stuff. I'm not having faith about this stuff. I have a knowing about this stuff. It's an automatic that I am to have. It's an automatic I should have the resources. It's an automatic that I have power. It's an automatic that I have knowledge from aligning. So this piece is coming in really, really heavy. And the reason being is because I'm getting the reason why you adopted the Queen of Swords behavior so heavily and why you stayed on defense, because you felt like that was determining what you will be able to have and what you won't have. And that if you didn't play that role right, then you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get the person. You wouldn't get the promotion. You wouldn't get the money. You wouldn't get the stuff. I'm getting the home, all the stuff is coming up. I'm getting all kinds of card, watch. I don't know if this is specific because I'm getting pictures of it now, so I'm going to come out of it because we can go into a million materialistic pictures of things. Money is coming through heavy, so it's just like to sum it all up, that really abundant life. So if you are in a position to where you've actually struggle and had like a scarcity mindset to where it's dependent on something for me to have, what's happening is that you would be in that Fool position when it came to the Six of Pentacles, which is you felt like these behaviors determine whether or not you were going to have it or not, whether or not you were going to have the relationship with the person or not. And it's like the work that you were putting in was not securing the relationship. It was actually taking a sword to the relationship because of the person that was involved in the relationship with you. This is a very interesting reading that's coming out. Let's see if there's anything else to say about this, because it's really summing up that divine feminine reading that was done yesterday. So it's really going into whether any of you guys might have just had some questions last night after having that reading, and it was like, look, let me have some questions. So then maybe I got up and decided to do this reading here, and that would be my first thing to start out the day before I have my sessions. I have some evening sessions today. So, and you guys, I have also opened up readings to support in this transitional time, because everybody is birthing into their new. We had the started out, it's kind of like around Easter. Everything is symbolic. You've actually been taught how the energy works by a lot of storylines that are very popular in the world. So, we had our endings and beginnings with coming in with the resurrection season around Easter time. And then we've kind of been coasting. It's been a lot of endings. And I know you've been like, oh my gosh, this has been like a walk in the valley of the death the past months that you've had since that resurrection time. And it's like, wait, I thought I was just going to rise. But it's like, don't forget the process. So it's many of the things that and when we speak of this, the death and resurrection, it's really the life that you were living prior, which is However, because this is a earth plane of variety and choice, so you're really just ascending from one level to the next of your desire. So some people are actually looking at other people where it seemed like they downsized, but they ascended. And some people, it looked like they went into expansion, and that was their ascension. It's really where you're going to that is of more alignment to your higher self, which is where you're living, how you're living, who you're living with. And that's what all of this is about. And the readings are actually supporting people of getting a life in ways in which you don't currently have. It's really the manifestation of nothing to something, which is I don't currently have it. But then we come in with the magician, but I know that I can set a goal, have a prayer, have a desire, and then eventually I'll get there. The only thing all of this is about is you're just seeing the workings. You're in the ends of it. That's what this is about. You're just being tapped in. So this right here that comes out, that we'll use this to just really sum this reading on up, because this has been such a good reading. So this has been about your foundation. All of it has been about your foundation that I have here. And when we go to the Two of Wands, this is all about your personal power, your boldness, your originality. So that Four of Wands, it's who you are that is important in developing this foundation that you are wanting. Whether that is a foundation with a new person, whether that is a foundation of I'm getting not just a new person, but even a foundation of your already existing relation. A lot of you guys are transmuting your current situations. So that is currently happening right now because you've already, met your person. It's just about aligning and getting with them, and you can't figure out what keeps leading to the separations. Right now, what's happening is it seems like you guys are being fine-tuned on getting rid of the things that kept leading you to separations when it came to people that you would really adore, whether it be a family member, friend, or relational partner. So don't get me wrong. This isn't a system of where it's saying, well, this is the reason why, and it was your faulting in this. And it's like, no. This is the reason why they were able to transfer their current state of despair to you. And then you would be in despair. And then with both of you in despair, I mean, there's no beautiful rendezvous of love there. It just isn't. So look, and we're getting death to that. So it's a death to those current behaviors. It's almost like, look, consult your maker, or consult a professional in that area to where you can have your separate privacy of your ascension. When you think about all of the top spiritual beings, they went off by themselves. Jesus went off in the woods by himself. You know what I'm saying? And these weren't short periods of time. Like when you look over the time period, like 40 is very significant. So it's like 40 days, it speaks about the seasons. A lot of things that we have here on earth has a transition of 30 days. When you go into job placements, it says the adjustment of 90 days. What all of this has been trying to tell you is that it takes time for people to look at their stuff and then make a change to their stuff and then execute it. Being a seer, you're able to see the different stages, but it's very important as a guide to know where a person is, because if you don't know where a person is, you can harm yourself and then you can harm them. There's that music. We just hit it. The beautiful thing is that you're ending that behavior and you've recognized it. You recognize what it was doing to you and you recognize what it was doing to others. And beautiful enough that we come in with the star. And the star puts in that inspiration, but it's also that serenity. And what I like about that is that the star is doing a pouring out here. We're going to have to do something about this light because, there we go. The star is doing a pouring out here that we have of the of the water and just really allowing that flow. So you're really releasing the remnants of what led to that behavior and why you were doing it. And the place that it's taking you is the Lovers. And the Lovers is very important because this is about relationship, sexuality, personal beliefs, and values, okay? And where are we doing this person in the Lovers and this person in the Lovers? It's opposite of that devil, codependent. They are aligning with the divine. And look, you don't see them connected. See, when you pull out the I'm going to see if I can find it because it's so beautiful of a representation. I actually just recognize what I'm seeing right here. And I think it's important to highlight it. There it is. When we look at the devil, and this is so beautiful because you can see in this card the relationship of the devil, which is what we consider that negative energy, what takes you down, that darker energy. And then you can see the relationship of the divine. You see chained together here. You see hands free here. Connected by here. So that's where the relationships are moved to, not connected on the lower levels by the negative, the codependency, but connected up here, which is, okay, I'm going to really work on the things that I have to work on for myself, and then that is going to impact the people who are around me. And that's how you have those unions of love, which is you guide by the illustration of self. We don't we don't preach our persons. We don't preach our persons. Yes, there will be times that you will give intuitive insight. That is going to come. It's going to be guided and it's going to be so free flowing is what I'm getting. But those times when you're in heavy anxiety, maybe after a discord, not sure what to do, those aren't those divine flowing energies. So those messages that are sent with the sword of the Ace of Swords that has been ended, which is beautiful, were very, very cutting. Why? Because you have the ability to see truth. So truth in the wrong vibe cuts to the bone. It hurts. It's why the scripture that I'm getting that comes up is truth in love. We speak truth in love. You know that scripture? So if you're able to see truth, it is important that you speak truth in love, because truth can cut. And when we cut people too many times, they don't feel good around us. They don't want to come around us. Things of that sort. So it's very important as a seer to understand the power that you hold, which is why the most dangerous thing on this planet is an insecure, powerful being. Because it's like, you hold the power. Why are you in panic? Why are you sending this information? The place that you're getting the information from, they can get it over there. But if it comes from you in that panicked anxiety state, it's going to seem as if you're hurting, not loving. And what I'm getting is that you're tired of being seen in that way. You want to be seen in your loving nature, and you want to receive the love back to you. So you want to make sure you're sending out the right vibe, because this is a universe of vibe. Vibe. So the energy of nasty nice is going out the window. The energy of cut you and then I'll make up for it is going out the window. Even for us. So if it goes out for us, then it's going out for others. We are held to what? Set your sights high. So we are held to a higher standard, which means we do it first. which means we sit in our truth and we call ourselves on our stuff to support in others. So this comes in, Stargazer, is go beyond your limitations and believe that the impossible is possible. You are on the verge of a miracle. All of your dreams and aspirations are within your grasp, and you are being guided to focus on your vision. The angels who are with you are encouraging you. There is nothing that you cannot have or achieve. I love that. You're no longer playing have or have not. I love that. That ties right on in. It is the belief of scarcity, the belief of absence, the belief of resistance, the belief of rejection, the belief of abandonment. It is the belief that is making believe have or have not. In the past, you've often found it impossible to recognize your worth and to believe that you are deserving of blessing. Angel and ancestor wisdom is reminding you that you are an incredible and infinite spark of the universe. And the universe is not only within you, it absolutely adores you. You are talented, filled with strength, and have the abilities you need to turn your wildest dreams into reality. Wow. Well, if that didn't just sum up today, so I hope your questions were answered, whatever it was. The golden mission is union, union within self, then union with others. If you need any support on your journey, there is a success course down below. There is a twin channel that is going into really a cheat sheet, Ascension key to kind of get you past any of those beliefs that are upside down that still have you on defense. There is a introduction to pain transmutation course down below that allows you to masterfully transmute those beliefs that are stuck from those real experiences that you had. They aren't fake. That's why it's hard to shake. And let's see. Oh, there's also a book, Judi Walk. Judi takes the exact walk that you are taking, and she actually gets to the spot. So check that out. It's on Amazon. I think that's it. You can also reach out to me if there is anything that I can support you with. We can have a session to support in lighting up and seeing those areas within that are blocking to really being the manifester that you are, which means that you know that you are powerful, but you can't understand why your life doesn't match who you know you are to be. And then I have recently just opened up readings because we are in a very transitional stage of people branching into new, like I mentioned before. So I will provide those as just brief insight on the current energy in reference to you. All right.